now your hands onto your tummy. And we're going to, in a diamond shape, we're going to place them onto your hip bones, onto your pubic bone and up towards your tummy button. Imagine you've got a marble and we're going round in a circle. You're pressing your back onto the floor, mobilising each area. Good. I love this, it really warms up the back, just making the connection with your abdominals. Now let's go round the other way. So the marble is going to each side. Or you can imagine you've got paint on your back and you're trying to make the perfect circle. 2 more, and then last one. Hands down onto the floor, and we're going to go into our pelvic tilt. So you're going to tilt, push the back in, tilt the pubic bone up, and really exaggerate the movement down, lifting up. Good. 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. And then we're going to place our hands now onto your tummy. So we're going to take a breath in, and when we take that breath in, I'm just going to hold it here so that you can see. We're going to take a breath in into my hand. As you breathe out, you pull in and draw in your tummy button to the back of the spine. Some people like to feel as if the hip bones come in that little bit closer. Some people like to imagine they've got a belt they've pulled in really tight, or there's a balloon that's just been deflated. Now relax. Let's do that again. Take a breath in, like a big balloon expanding. As you breathe out, draw in and pull down. So hold there without holding your breath. Keep the jaw nice and relaxed. Keep breathing. So we've got hold for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release. Now I'd like you now to connect that with your pelvic floor. So if the connection wasn't there already, I want you to really concentrate on the pelvic floor being lifted up as you breathe out and contract. It's called the deep transverse abdominal muscles, and that's the deep muscle layer of your abdominal muscles, the one that we need to connect to when we're doing our exercises. So let's do that again. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, actively lift the pelvic floor, hold there. So the bottom muscles should be relaxed, no tension at all, and keep breathing. Hold now for a count of 4. Are the ribs down? 3, 2, 1, and release. Final time, make sure those ribs come down. So we're going to take a breath in. The ribs will flare. As you breathe out, bring them down, pelvic floor lift, actively lift. Hold there for a count of 4, keep breathing. 3, 2, 1, and then just release for me. Okay, let's take it into a bridge. We're going to take a breath in now. As we breathe out, we're going to keep those heels close to our bottom. We're going to lift up, squeeze the bottom, and then release back down. Let's do that again. Lift up, squeeze. Keep it going. 4 more. And last one. And release. Take the arms now and float them over your head. You're going to take them all the way down. Tap your thumbs down and then release them back. So as you release them back, make sure your ribs are also coming closer towards your hips and you're completely releasing them. 2 more here. A lot to think about, but once you've got it, you've really got it. So let's lift now up into the bridge, take the arms back, and let's bring the hips back down again. Let's do it all together. Keep it going. Two more. And final one. Good. Take your hands now out to the side, and we're going to drop one knee down to the side. So try and keep the hips towards the ceiling, pelvic floor lifts as you bring the knee back in line. Drop to the other side. Pelvic floor lifts, come back into the centre. So it's a nice, slow, controlled movement. So what are those hips doing? Have we still got the gap in between the mat and the floor? Last two here. Release. Final one. Now we're going to take both together. So hands out to the side, and you're going to drop those knees one way. Take your head the other way. Keep the shoulders on the floor. Contract the abdominals to bring the knees back in line. It's all about controlled movement. Lovely one just to help, if just under here, just above the hip. I always find that area gets a little bit tight. So just by doing this movement, you're releasing that area. Last two for me. Good. And then come back. Okay. Let's go now on to our pelvic floor exercises. So we're going to turn over actually onto our side. We're going to push up and we're going to come into all fours. So hands underneath your shoulders. Let's just start by wriggling those hips, just mobilising round. Good. And then round the other way. And let's do our abdominal pull-ins in this position. Because I've now got my top off, you'll be able to see a little bit easier. Okay, hands underneath your shoulders. So we're going to go into a breath in, but the breath in is going to come into the tummy. So I'm going to expand my tummy. As you breathe out, lift up and draw in. So we should have also made the connection with the pelvic floor. Bottom relaxed, jaw relaxed, and release. So when I release, I'm releasing my pelvic floor, but I'm not allowing my back to sag in the centre. So let's do that one again. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, take a breath in. One more, breathe out. Make that connection. Okay, I want you to sit back, keep the pelvic floor lifted. Let's rock forward. Let's go back again. Oh, this is a lovely one just to release the back. Is that pelvic floor still lifted? Two more. And then last one. Good, and then release. Okay, so from here, let's do our pelvic floor exercises. So I want you to imagine now we're going to close from side to side and from front to back. Your back passage, your middle and your front. So we're going to take a breath in. Doesn't have to be like we've just done exaggerated, just take a normal breath in. As you breathe out, I want you to lift to the first floor, to the second, to the third floor, and you're going to hold there. So the connection should still be deep. I'm going to hold there for me for a count of 4. Keep going. 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to release down to the second, to the first, and to the ground floor. Now we're going to change positions because actually we're in all fours and it feels quite weird to try and go up in an elevator. So I want you to come up into a kneel. That's really cut my head off on that one. Never mind. On this one, take a breath in. As we breathe out, now this time, Imagine the lift doors closing our pelvic floor like a lift. We're going to go up to the first floor, we're going to go up to the second, we're going to go up to the third floor, and we're going to hold there. So hold there at the top, relax everything. Hold there, and then we're going to release down to the second, to the first, and to the ground. So let's do that one again. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, close the doors of the lift. Lift. First, second, third floor. Hold there. Keep breathing. And then release down to the second, to the first, and to the ground floor. So back now onto all fours. And this time, I want you to imagine an emergency stop. So you've got to act quickly and you've got to close your pelvic floor. So are you ready? You're going to lift and then release. So lift. I just want you to notice what's happening with your abdominal muscles. Can you feel that connection through your transverse? There's not a big movement. It's your pelvic floor that should be doing the work. Lift and release. Lift and release. Again, lift and release. One more. Lift and release. So we're going to do that one again on kneeling. So from here, let's see if you can focus and make a difference. And that contraction and that lift might be bigger in this position. Are we ready? We're going to lift and release. Lift and release. Just hold onto your bottom and just make sure that we're not gripping with our glutes. It's all about your pelvic floor. Lift and release. Lift and release. So we want to really lift and then fully release. 2 more times. Lift and release and lift and release. Final one. Lift and release. Okay, so we're going to come into our standing. So as we come to standing, we're going to pelvic floor lift, draw the tummy in, step forward, toe tuck under the back, use that leg muscle. So let's do the lift again. So close the lift doors. We go to the first floor, the second to the third floor. Should feel it just about here. Hold there. Keep breathing for a count of 4. Can we hold it? 3, keep going. 2 and 1, release down, second, first, and ground floor. Let's challenge now. So pelvic floor challenge. So let's stand on one leg. So we're going to close the pelvic floor, and we're going to lift to the first, to the second, to the third floor, and hold it at the top. So like any exercise program, our pelvic floor is exactly the same as any muscle. We have to strengthen it in different positions, in different movement patterns, and then release now. Keep your foot up, down to the, it's probably gone, but anyway, let's come back down to the second, to the first, and to the ground floor, and just rest. Okay, let's try that again on the other leg. Does it feel any different on one side? So let's close and lift, first, second, third floor, hold it there. Keep breathing, shoulders down. Keep it lifted. Hold there. And then let's bring it down to the second, to the first, and to the ground. And then just switch those hips from side to side. Okay, in this position, I'd like you just to bend your knees slightly. Again, concentrate on the contractions of your abdominals, but we're going to do your jellyfish. So the jellyfish pulses through the sea. I want you to do that with your pelvic floor. I find this one pretty tricky to do. It feels like I'm jumping. So find your position with your feet. Can you lift it up? Pulse, 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 pulse. So it goes through, swimming through the sea. Really difficult. There's loads of ways to do pelvic floor exercises, but those are the ones that I find most effective for most people. I think it's having that fun element of it, bringing in a jellyfish, thinking about an emergency stop, thinking about your elevator. And the one that we haven't done is your zip. Now this is again a really nice one that lots of people can connect with. So I want you to imagine you've got a pair of tight trousers on. And the tight trousers, the zip comes from all the way from the back passage, all the way through to the front and zips up to your tummy button. So find that posture. So I want you to think now about the zip. So again, you're closing and your back passage from the zip is zip to the middle passage, to the front, all the way up. Now keep breathing. Keep breathing, keep that zip closed. It's tight, but you're still breathing, everything's relaxed, ribs are down. And then let's undo that zip slowly, 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 and then release that zip. So one more time with the zip for me. Find your position, and are you ready? So imagine the back passage, the middle, the front, zipping all the way up, connecting these deep transverse abdominal muscles. Keep breathing, keep relaxed. Hold it there. 4, good. 3, excellent. 2 and 1, and then undo that zip. So we're going to lift the pelvic floor. Keep it lifted as we travel. We shift our weight and then drop completely. Lift, shift, and then drop. Lift, shift, and drop. Again, lift, shift, and drop. We're going to take that in a box. So we're going to lift, we're going to step forward, and then we're going to drop. We're going to lift, we're going to take it to the other side, and then we're going to drop. We're going to lift, we're going to step backwards, and drop. Let's do that one again. So lift, shift, and drop. Lift, shift forward, and drop. Lift, shift, and drop. Again, lift, take it backwards, and drop. So now we've got that final one, which is taking it into that lunge as if we're picking something up. So pelvic floor lift, shift the body weight. Imagine you're picking something up. Come back now, drop. Again, lift. Imagine you're picking something up. Pelvic floor still lifted, and drop. Lift. And I mean, you can, again, practice this at home. Throw a beanbag down on the floor, lift, pick it up, and then drop and chuck it down again. So lift, shift. Just getting you to really connect and think about it initially, and then it becomes second nature, and then drop. And then just give me a little shake, mobilise those shoulders. Well done, everybody.